Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Monday, April 8th, 2024. I am Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the Executive Minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ+ community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ+ community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. We are available on all smart televisions and your favorite social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we are here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. The religious implications. Will scientists create a human embryo with DNA from two men? A groundbreaking study conducted by scientists at Oregon Health and Science University has shed light on the potential for male same-sex couples to one day conceive biological children together. The research centers around a pioneer process known as in vitro gay metagenesis, where scientists engineer eggs from skin cells and fertilize them with sperm. Utilizing mice as their subject, the OHSU researchers have successfully manipulated skin cell nuclei, transforming them into donated eggs with removed nuclei by halving the chromosomes within the nucleus. They create an environment ripe for sperm fertilization, reminiscent of the process used to clone Dolly, the sheep, in 1996. While significant progress has been made, the transition to human cell studies poses challenges. Current chromosomes pairing remains elusive, necessitating further research to optimize the process. Despite the hurdles, the potential of IVG to revolutionize assisted reproductive technology underscores its significance in the scientific community. It signals a promising path towards diverse family building possibilities. Wow. Well, gotta love science. I'm just gonna say, you gotta love scientific words also.
Good for you.
But I think this is a very interesting story. I think it's, I love how, not only just with this story, but science has evolved things over the years. I'll just hone in one real quick around HIV and AIDS. The scientific stuff that has evolved from there was nothing for people diagnosed with HIV and AIDS to now we have several solutions to medicate and treat people with HIV. But this is just one more of the evolution process, I think, of people coming together, smart people, smarter than I, and looking at how science and breaking it down to the basics of what really makes life and giving it an opportunity to grow anew and to reproduce anew. This kind of goes in the face of God created Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. And it's like, where does this really take us when we think about people who use those kind of scriptures against the gay community to now there's this possibility on the horizon. And it also speaks to a little bit of privilege. This does sound like a cheap process, but at the same time, look what God can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wonder if the people who idolize, who've actually made idols of human embryos in their efforts to colonize women's bodies, I wonder if their stance will change at all when the embryos come from a lab. Are they still? Is that still more important than a human? We'll see. Well, science is amazing, and I wish I had been better at it in school. I was always so verbal that I was more likely to be writing a poem or reading a short story while I'm supposed to be learning about this kind of stuff. And so I wasn't great at science, but I have so much admiration for those who are. I wish I'd been better. I wish I'd paid more attention. There are scientific and ethical questions to volley back and forth once the technology is sorted out, but that's a minute away still. So for now, I just want to say this. Anyone who pretends that a 90-year-old Sarah got knocked up, or that Jesus' mother bypassed biological norms to become pregnant, or that Adam was molded from clay and had a rib C-section that resulted in his clone wife, What I am not trying to hear from any of you is any wailing about this being abnormal or unnatural. You set the bar. You insisted that the impossible was possible. So now we are compelled to explore if the unlikely or the not yet possible can be possible. If you can have a virgin mother, we can have two gay dads having a biological child together. This is probably not just around the corner, but I'm glad they're working on it.
Hashtag My Queer Church.
Well, you know, for those people who are in such an uproar about this, because it's two men, like you, I think science is incredible. It's amazing. I wish I were better at it. But I think we also need to consider some of the scientific discoveries that have benefited us as well. So don't just write off science and say, oh, no, it's scientific. It has nothing to do with my faith. See what God can do. Yeah, truly.
I had a thought and it just ran away from me. Well, when I was in school, I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. I just knew that I loved science so much that I was going to be a pharmacist. And then I took a term of organic chemistry and realized that I'm a better talker than I am a scientist. So I understand our scientific community and I love and respect them because there is so much that's going on. I grew up when they discovered a lot of the vaccines that the vaxxers are railing against. Because of the vaccines that were created, rubella, smallpox, and just the whole litany of the vaccinations that are now available, they save lives. And I have a feeling that while this bent may not lead to anything anytime soon, there are a lot of things that it might lead to, and that is the curing of different kinds of medical problems that exist today. So many drugs that are on the market right now were originally marketed for something different than what they are.
The first AIDS drug was an old cancer drug, AZT.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that and Viagra was supposed to be to help people. Well, Viagra, I think, was supposed to help people grow hair. But anyway, a lot of the medications that I take Mounjaro for diabetes. Mounjaro has been proven to help people lose weight. And now the companies are coming out with a different version of Mounjaro, Ozempic, and a couple of others that help people lose weight. So you got to give the scientific community a lot of room to play because you never know what they're going to find and how it's going to benefit millions and millions of people. So I love that they're playing with this. I love that they're tinkering with this. And I do have some worries about what might happen in the future, but that's a long ways from now.
Yeah, I wish things can be misused. And I don't know that's ever reason enough not to explore. I wish they'd ask a lot more questions. I wish they'd volleyed those ethical questions back and forth a few more days before Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I still think that is second to slavery. I think that our being the only country in the world to ever use nuclear weapons in war, I think those are our two greatest sins. And they're the two things I'm most ashamed of. And the world is still in peril because of that. Now, the technology was already there. Someone was going to do it one day. Didn't have to be us. But so things can be misused. And but then when it's used properly, just miracles. And so there's a whole religious tradition that doesn't believe in transplants, heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant. And yet, if you've had one, and you're walking around to tell the story, you just might want to pick another church because you know what I mean. So it can be scary. The unknown and how could someone use this badly? That is a little scary. But if we can use it wisely and well, we just might want to ask a few more questions so that we don't have another Hiroshima situation.
Indeed.
And we have the ability to put controls on things. We have the ability to say, that's a bridge too far. So I'm not worried about that as much as I might have been a few years ago. I just see the potential for what the scientific community can do. And I have respect that they understand that they do have, in some ways, a moral imperative to do no harm.
Right. And every profession has ethical standards and professional ethicists.
Yes.
So the thing about peer-reviewed research is that everyone's holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
And so I also trust those safeguards.
Yeah, and I think that the word is ethical as opposed to moral. I like that much more than I do moral. So yeah.
Well, and you just remember, we just lived through something recently where we was encouraging people to trust the science and not somebody who's pontificating about what they thought would get us through COVID.
Right.
Bleach,
Exactly.
brother.
So I'm just saying, let's see where science takes us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what.
And if it goes wrong, we know how to protest. We will just jump up and call it out.
Yep.
So there's that.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.